So this is video 7 of the Blender 2.8 course, and this one deals with extrusion, subsurfing, and loop rings. Before we start, you need to turn on LoopTools, which is in Edit, Preferences, Mesh Tools, and here you'll find LoopTools. Now it's on, and when you are in Edit mode and you right-click, you will see that the LoopTools is on top of the list. This is very useful in the things that we will now be doing. So let's say that we wanted to make a pair of dice, and to do that, the easiest way to do that is to add loop rings to this uh, mesh, a cube mesh, so that you will have a lot of faces on each of the sides of the object. So I'll turn on my screencast keys once more. I will add a loop ring, but I will then press the key 6 so that I will have 7 loop rings. And the same in here with the key 6 and 2 enters. And here with 6 and 2 enters. I could also have used my left hand mouse button, but I wanted to do it this way now. So to make the numbers, you want to have a few of these faces inset into the face of the object. But when you do that, this is what happens. It pulls with it the other vertices. So this is not going to work. What you want to do here is going to extrude inwards a certain amount of movement. So let's go a little closer and extrude in. Let's say I'll be looking at the top, saying 0.05 minus would be a good thing to do, or 0.6 actually. Let's see it like that. And I can do the same thing here and here and here and here and here. Extrude minus 0.06, and now they're exactly the same amount inset into the object. On the other side, I only want to inset this single face, but that is plus 0.06. So extrude 0.06 minus. So now I have the 6's and the 1's, because the sum of the opposing faces of each dice is always 7. So that's why I made it like that. So to make the 5, I go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, extrude 0.06 minus, and on the other side, pick 2 of these, 1 and 2, extrude 0.06 minus. On the top, I will have 1, 2, 3, extrude 0.06 minus, and on the other side 1, 2, 3, 4, extrude 0.06 minus. And here we have the dice, and it doesn't look nice at the moment, but we will make it look nice by adding a couple of things to it. The first thing we want to do is to add a bevel to it. You can add a bevel to it by adding everything and saying Control B for bevel, and then adding a few details with your mouse. And this is looking a lot better. Oh, there's something here in the bottom that happened. I don't know what to do that. I don't know what happened there. So let's try again. Control B for bevel. Oh, now it looks a lot nicer. And the next thing we want to do is to add color to these. The whole of the dice is going to be, of course, white, and the dots will be black. So we go to materials, add 2 materials, one of them is white, and the color for that is really white. go into edit mode, select everything, and assign the white to it. So now it's looking like this. And now when I go back here and I select just the black face, I'll make the other material. So add a material, call it black, and make it black, like so. Go into edit mode, select the faces that you want to be black. Make sure you only get the faces that you actually want to get black, because otherwise it will look messy and it will not look the way you would want it to look. And now when you assign the black to all of these faces, your dice is looking rather good already. So this is why you need to learn how to use loop rings. See how you have a lot of loop rings that enable you to do these nice bending features here. Without all the loop rings, you would not be able to have these beautiful curving areas here. If you wanted to, you could of course make these slightly larger by selecting one of the faces, and then with the Control plus on the numpad key, numpads, you could actually do like this. Add to the selection and then assign the black to it, but I'm not sure if that enables you to have any better look or feel to it. So I'll just leave it like that. So this would be the use of extrusion and subdivision surface. Sorry, not subdivision surfing, but the beveling in this work here. But let's say that you want to make a coffee mug. And to make a coffee mug, you have very many different options, of course, but let's start with a cylinder. Place it there. I will then lose the top of it. Now delete and only faces. And now I have a wall that has no thickness, and that doesn't work because, as you know, a coffee mug has to have thickness. So I will go into edge selection mode, press Alt and click one of the edges and scale out to make it widen out a little. Then I will extrude inwards by saying extrude and scale. You can see what happens there. And now I will say extrude and Z, and I will go down close to the bottom, and then extrude scale with the 0 so that I get a bottom to it as well. So the mug currently looks like so, and if you go into wireframe mode, you can see that it looks pretty okay. What you need to do is to scale this one down a little. No, not that's the outward. This is the loop that you want to do. Yep. And also this one slightly inwards like so. Now to get a handle here into the mug, you will need loop rings, 2 loop rings here and 2 loop rings down here. So to do that, it's just a question of hitting Ctrl R and placing it here, Ctrl R and placing it here, Ctrl R and going down here, and Ctrl R, placing one here. Now, this is the interesting part. To do this properly, you need to extrude out along the axis. But as you can see, this face is not aligned to the axis. This edge is aligned to the axis. So you want to turn this mug 1/32 of a turn. So rotate Z like so. With the control key, it turns 5 degrees at a time. What you want to do now is to form the handle by extruding these parts so that they will actually meet in the middle. To do that, you need to delete the face, X only faces, and the corresponding face in here, X only faces. Go back into edge selection mode, select the edges and extrude out on the X-axis. Just for a start, you do it like so. What you then want to do is select just the lower one, pull it up, G on the Z-axis, and rotate it on the Y-axis. The same in here, extrude on the X-axis, rotate on the Y-axis, and move down on the Z-axis. Okay, and we do this once more. Select the edges, extrude on the X-axis, move it on the Z-axis, and rotate on the Y-axis. And the same happens here, extrude, rotate on the Y, and G on the X. Okay, now, oh, see, there's a mess. I didn't use the axis there. So I have to go back a little. Okay, extrude on the X-axis, rotate on the Y-axis, and move on the Z-axis, also on the X-axis. Okay, the reason I wanted you to turn on the loop tools is that now that you have 4 vertices here, and you have 4 vertices here, you can select both of these loop rings, and right-click and say Loop Tools and Bridge. And it will make you a perfect bridge. Right-click, Loop Tools, Bridge, but you may have to twist the other way to get it to go. Wow, this is looking really interesting. Yeah, I had it on the reverse. So it looks rather crude, but when we now use a subdivision surface modifier, it starts to look a lot nicer. I'll turn on the viewport too, so that it looks completely nice. There's an odd bulge in here. That's because this loop ring could be slightly smaller, and it could be moved closer to the actual mug on the X direction. And to make your edges look nice, you just add another loop ring here and push it up. Inside, you want another loop ring to make the edge look nice. And down here, another loop ring to make the bottom nice. Here as well, a loop ring goes in here and you push it down, and it looks rather nice. Also, you can finish the handle by adding loop rings here and another loop ring here. Like so. So it's starting to look rather nice. The only thing is that it's a little thick to be a mug, but to fix that, all you have to do is to select these 2 loop rings and scale them out, and it will make your mug look nice. So this is how you use, and now, oh, by the way, if you haven't yet had a look at the add-ons and modifiers video, This is a modifier, and you only use the apply button if you have to, because once you hit the apply button, you can no longer change anything in the mug. Currently, your mug looks like this. It only has this amount of vertices, but as soon as you hit apply, you have all of these vertices, and this is no longer editable in any way. It's gone. So I will Control Z out of there. And while I still have my modifiers here, I will leave it at that. And from here, all you would need to do would be to add some coffee to it. Or if you want to edit the handle any further, it's all up to you basically. So this would be how to use the loop rings and extrusion and subsurfing.